The Smith family, full of excitement, prepares to celebrate James's birthday. This is no ordinary outing. It's a chance for the family to unwind, enjoy each other's company, and experience the fine dining they've heard so much about. Each member is dressed in their best, with James in a sharp suit, Clara in a beautiful dress, and their children, Malik and Tasha, looking equally refined. The drive to the restaurant is filled with chatter about the menu, the ambience, and how they're going to make this a night to remember. As they pull up to the restaurant, a sleek, upscale establishment known for its exclusivity, the Smiths feel a sense of pride. They are greeted with what initially seems to be a warm welcome from the hostess, but the atmosphere quickly shifts. The moment the manager catches sight of them, his demeanor changes. His initial smile fades into a stern expression, and he approaches the family with an air of condescension. When James informs the manager of their reservation, the response is immediate and cold. "I'm sorry, but we're fully booked tonight," the manager says, glancing over their shoulders as if expecting someone else. James, noticing the empty tables inside, questions the availability, but the manager insists there's no room. His tone becomes harsher, dismissing the family as if they were a nuisance rather than paying customers. James, always a man of composure, attempts to reason with the manager. He explains that they've been looking forward to this night for weeks, and they're willing to wait for a table. However, the manager's attitude shifts from dismissive to outright hostile. "We don't tolerate problematic customers," he snaps, implying that the mere presence of the Smith family is an issue. The blatant disrespect leaves the family stunned. Clara, always the peacekeeper, gently urges James to leave, but the hurt and anger are evident on everyone's faces. As they walk away from the restaurant, the excitement of the evening is replaced by a deep sense of injustice. They've faced discrimination before, but this public humiliation stings in a way that's hard to shake. The night that was supposed to be a celebration has now become a painful reminder of the racial prejudices that still permeate society. The family leaves, but the seed of indignation has been planted, and they know this cannot be the end of their story. As the Smith family drives away from the restaurant, the atmosphere in the car is tense. The frustration and anger that simmered under the surface now begin to boil over. Tasha, the youngest in the family and always the one to take initiative, pulls out her phone. "We should record this," she says, her voice firm. "People need to know what just happened to us." The suggestion catches everyone off guard. Clara hesitates, worried about exposing the family to further scrutiny, but James, after a moment of contemplation, nods in agreement. They pull over to the side of the road, and with the car's interior lights casting a dim glow, Tasha begins to film. She recounts the entire incident, her voice a mix of hurt and defiance. James and Clara add their own thoughts, explaining how they were denied service solely based on the color of their skin. The video captures not just their words, but the raw emotion of the moment, the disappointment in James's eyes, the resolve in Clara's voice, and the quiet anger simmering in Malik's silence. After they finish recording, there's a moment of silence as they contemplate the gravity of what they've just done. Tasha, with a deep breath, uploads the video to her social media accounts, tagging a few local activist groups. "We'll see what happens," she says, trying to sound confident, but everyone knows this is a step into uncharted territory. What happens next is beyond their expectations. Within hours, the video begins to gain traction. First, it's shared among friends and acquaintances, but soon it spreads like wildfire, picked up by influencers and activists who see it as a powerful example of the everyday racism that still exists. The number of views skyrockets, and by morning, the video has gone viral, with thousands of comments expressing outrage, support, and calls for action. The sudden attention brings a mixture of emotions to the Smith family. On one hand, they feel empowered. Their story is no longer just theirs. It has become a rallying cry for others who have faced similar discrimination. But with this newfound visibility comes pressure. The media starts reaching out for interviews, and activists begin contacting them, eager to turn this incident into a larger movement. Clara, who always valued the family's privacy, finds herself torn. She understands the importance of speaking out, but worries about the consequences of being thrust into the public eye. As the day progresses, the family gathers around their dining table, the same one where they had hoped to share a celebratory meal just the night before. Now, instead of toasting to James's birthday, they are strategizing how to navigate the wave of attention. Malik suggests they use this momentum to push for change, while James, always the voice of reason, reminds them that this is just the beginning of a much larger fight. The video has sparked something bigger than any of them anticipated. It's no longer just about the Smith family. It's about justice, dignity, and the right to be treated with respect, regardless of one's race. They know they must be careful with their next steps, but there's no turning back now. The fight has begun, and they are ready to face whatever comes next. Clara sits in the living room, scrolling through the countless messages of support and solidarity pouring in from people all over the country. The viral video has made them the face of a growing movement, but Clara feels the weight of it all bearing down on her. She realizes she needs advice from those who have been in the trenches before. With a determined look, she decides to reconnect with her old college friends, activists she had once fought alongside for civil rights. Clara arranges to meet them at a local cafe, a familiar spot where they had spent countless hours discussing strategies and organizing protests during their college days. As she enters, nostalgia washes over her. The faces that greet her are older, marked by the passage of time, but the fire in their eyes remains. There's Sarah, the fierce leader who never backed down from a challenge, Michael, the strategist with a knack for turning ideas into action, and Linda, whose compassionate speeches could move mountains. The reunion is filled with warm embraces and laughter, but it doesn't take long for the conversation to turn serious. Clara shares the ordeal her family faced at the restaurant, the video that went viral, and the overwhelming response from the public. As she speaks, old memories resurface, marches, sit-ins, and the camaraderie that had united them in the face of adversity. Sarah listens intently, her eyes narrowing with determination. This isn't just about your family, Clara. This is a chance to address a larger issue that affects so many. We need to act, and we need to act now. Michael nods in agreement. We should organize a protest. Peaceful, but powerful. It's time to remind this city and the country that we won't tolerate discrimination. Linda, ever the empathetic soul, reaches across the table to squeeze Clara's hand. We're with you, Clara. Whatever you need, we'll be there. The support of her friends reignites Clara's fighting spirit. They spend the next few hours brainstorming and planning. They discuss potential locations, dates, and how to ensure the protest remains peaceful yet impactful. Clara's initial hesitation about exposing her family fades as the energy of the group envelopes her. She feels a renewed sense of purpose and resolve. As they finalize their plans, Clara looks around the table at her old friends, now allies in this new fight. She realizes that their bond, forged in the fires of past struggles, is as strong as ever. Leaving the cafe, she feels a sense of empowerment. This isn't just about her family anymore. It's about the community, the city, and the fight against systemic racism. Driving home, Clara's mind races with ideas and strategies. She knows the coming days will be challenging, but she's ready. With the support of her old friends and the strength of her family, Clara is determined to lead the charge for justice. This reunion has reminded her of the power of unity and the importance of standing up against injustice, no matter the cost. As the days pass and the momentum behind the viral video grows, Malik finds himself increasingly restless. He's proud of the attention their story has received, but he knows that public outrage alone isn't enough. To make real change, they need to take concrete legal action against the restaurant. Malik has always been the practical one in the family, and now he sees a clear path forward, one that involves holding the restaurant accountable in court. Malik reaches out to a family friend, Mr. Robinson, an experienced civil rights attorney who has taken on cases like this before. They meet in Mr. Robinson's office, a small but orderly space filled with legal books and framed newspaper clippings of past victories. Malik lays out the situation, explaining how the restaurant manager refused them service and how the incident has sparked a larger movement. Mr. Robinson listens carefully, nodding as he takes notes. This is a strong case, Malik, Mr. Robinson says after Malik finishes. Racial discrimination in public accommodations is illegal, and we have both witnesses and the video evidence to back up your claim. But you need to be prepared for a fight. The restaurant will likely have a team of lawyers trying to discredit your family and downplay the incident. Malik nods, already aware of the challenges ahead. We're ready, he replies, determination clear in his voice. We want to make sure this doesn't happen to anyone else. Mr. Robinson begins to outline their legal options. He explains that they can file a civil lawsuit against the restaurant for violating anti-discrimination laws. They discuss the possibility of seeking damages for the emotional distress and humiliation the family experienced. But Mr. Robinson also emphasizes the importance of gathering as much evidence as possible to build a strong case. Back at home, Malik shares what he's learned with the rest of the family. They agree that pursuing legal action is the right move, and Malik takes on the role of gathering evidence. He starts by reaching out to potential witnesses who were at the restaurant that night. Using social media and the connections they've made through the viral video, he puts out a call for anyone who saw what happened or has experienced similar discrimination at the same restaurant. The response is overwhelming. Dozens of people come forward, sharing their own stories of mistreatment at the hands of the same restaurant. Some describe being ignored by staff, while others recount being refused service entirely. Malik compiles all these accounts, knowing that each one strengthens their case. In addition to witness statements, Malik also begins researching similar cases that have gone to court. He spends hours reading through legal precedents and studying how other families have fought back against discrimination. The more he learns, the more confident he becomes in their ability to win this fight. Malik's initiative not only strengthens their legal case, but also galvanizes the family. They see that this isn't just about their own experience. It's about challenging a pattern of discrimination that has affected countless others. The lawsuit becomes a symbol of resistance, a way to demand justice not just for themselves, but for everyone who has been wronged. With Mr. Robinson guiding them and the evidence piling up, Malik knows they are on the right track. The path ahead is daunting, but he is determined to see it through. This isn't just about winning a lawsuit. It's about making a statement that racism and discrimination have no place in their community or anywhere else. The viral video has sparked a fire within the community, and the Smith family is now at the heart of a growing movement against racial discrimination. The video's reach has galvanized people from various backgrounds, prompting them to share their own stories and join in the fight for justice. Clara and Malik, understanding the importance of harnessing this momentum, decide to organize a community meeting. They secure a local church hall that has been a hub for social justice activities in the past. The hall, though modest, is filled with the energy of anticipation as community members begin to arrive. They come from all walks of life: students, workers, activists, and local leaders, each with their own stories of discrimination and a shared desire for change. As the meeting begins, Clara stands before the crowd, her voice steady but filled with passion. She recounts the events of the night at the restaurant, emphasizing how the experience was not just a personal affront but a symptom of a larger problem. Her words resonate with the audience, and the room fills with murmurs of agreement and shared frustration. Malik takes the stage next, presenting the legal angle of their fight. He explains the steps they've taken so far, including gathering witness statements and seeking legal counsel. He outlines the next phases of their campaign, emphasizing the need for continued community support. The audience listens intently as Malik speaks about the importance of unity and how their collective voice can drive real change. The atmosphere in the room shifts from one of individual frustration to a unified sense of purpose. People start sharing their own experiences of discrimination, recounting instances where they too felt marginalized or mistreated. The stories are powerful and emotional, highlighting the widespread nature of the problem and reinforcing the need for action. Clara and Malik facilitate a brainstorming session, asking attendees for ideas on how to keep the momentum going. Suggestions flow freely, organizing more community meetings, setting up a petition, and leveraging social media to keep the issue in the public eye. One prominent local activist proposes holding a peaceful protest outside the restaurant to draw even more attention to the cause. As the meeting draws to a close, there is a palpable sense of solidarity in the room. The Smith family has successfully transformed their personal struggle into a community-wide movement. Attendees leave the meeting energized and ready to take action. Volunteers sign up to help with various tasks, from organizing logistics for the protest to creating informational flyers and spreading the word on social media. The support and enthusiasm from the community are heartening. Clara and Malik realize that this is more than just a fight for their own justice. It's a chance to address systemic issues and build a more inclusive society. The sense of collective determination solidifies their resolve, and they begin preparing for the next steps in their campaign, knowing that their struggle has now become a shared mission. The community's response is a powerful reminder that change is possible when people come together to confront injustice. The Smith family's journey, once a personal battle, has evolved into a broader movement driven by the shared goal of equality and respect for all. As they move forward, they know they have the strength and support of a united community behind them. The story of the Smith family's fight against the restaurant's discrimination has sparked a significant division within the city. As the movement gains momentum, the community becomes polarized. Supporters of the Smiths rally behind the cause, while defenders of the restaurant, many of whom are regular patrons or employees, push back. This split is visible in local media coverage, social media platforms, and even on the streets. James finds himself in the middle of this divide. The city's reaction ranges from heartfelt support to vocal opposition. Some residents are quick to condemn the restaurant, demanding accountability and reform. Others argue that the restaurant should be left alone, insisting that the incident was a misunderstanding or an isolated case. One afternoon, James is approached by a local reporter seeking his perspective on the situation. The reporter's questions are probing, aiming to capture the essence of the controversy. James, though weary from the ongoing conflict, answers with honesty. He speaks about the pain of being discriminated against, the impact on his family, and the broader implications of such behavior. His sincere and heartfelt responses humanize the struggle, drawing empathy from those who might have been previously indifferent. Meanwhile, Clara observes the growing division with concern. She sees how the polarized reactions are affecting the community, creating rifts between neighbors, friends, and even family members. Some supporters of the Smiths are becoming more vocal and confrontational, while opponents are increasingly defensive and aggressive. Clara knows that maintaining a focus on peaceful advocacy is crucial, even as tensions rise. Despite the challenges, the division also brings unexpected benefits. The controversy keeps the issue of racial discrimination in the public eye, forcing people to confront uncomfortable truths about their own biases and the systemic nature of racism. The ongoing debate creates opportunities for dialogue and education, as discussions about race and equality become more prominent in everyday conversations. Clara and Malik continue to work behind the scenes, focusing on their goal of creating meaningful change. They organize community forums where people from both sides can come together to discuss their views in a constructive manner. These forums are met with mixed reactions, but offer a platform for people to express their concerns and seek common ground. The city's division is a testament to the impact of the Smith family struggle. Their fight has sparked a broader conversation about race and discrimination, highlighting the need for continued efforts to address these issues. While the polarization is challenging, it also signifies that the movement is making waves and prompting necessary conversations. James, Clara, Malik, and Tasha navigate this complex landscape with determination. They understand that their fight is part of a larger struggle for justice and equality. The city's division, while difficult, underscores the importance of their cause and the necessity of continuing their advocacy. The day of the protest arrives, and the atmosphere is charged with a mix of excitement and apprehension. The Smith family, alongside hundreds of supporters, gathers in front of the restaurant where the incident occurred. The air is filled with the sounds of chants and the sight of colorful signs demanding justice and equality. The event is a visual and emotional testament to the power of collective action. Clara and Malik stand at the forefront, coordinating with other organizers and making final adjustments to the setup. Clara, dressed in a simple but striking outfit that symbolizes unity, steps up to the makeshift stage. Her heart races as she prepares to address the crowd. The moment is pivotal, not only for the Smith family but for the entire community. When Clara begins her speech, her voice is steady and passionate. She speaks about the personal impact of the discrimination her family faced and the broader implications of such injustice. Her words are a call to action, urging everyone to stand up against racism and to demand change not just from the restaurant but from society as a whole. The crowd listens intently, their faces a mix of determination and empathy. The signs they hold are varied, with messages like "No more discrimination" and "Justice for the Smiths." The energy is palpable, with chants and cheers erupting after Clara's powerful statements. The protest is marked by its peaceful nature, a contrast to the more volatile reactions from opponents. Despite the positive atmosphere, the presence of counter-protesters creates an undercurrent of tension. A small group of individuals who support the restaurant's stance appears across the street, holding signs that argue the Smiths' claims are exaggerated. Their presence adds a layer of unease to the otherwise hopeful event. Malik, aware of the potential for conflict, takes on the role of calming the situation. He engages with the counter-protesters, attempting to bridge the gap between the two sides with respectful dialogue. His efforts help to prevent the situation from escalating, though the tension remains. Clara, watching the interaction, feels a mix of pride and concern. The protest is achieving its goal of raising awareness, but the presence of opposition reminds her of the deep-seated divisions that still exist. She continues to speak with the media, emphasizing the importance of maintaining peace and focusing on the message of equality. As the protest draws to a close, the crowd begins to disperse, leaving behind a scene of solidarity and hope. The Smith family and their supporters feel a renewed sense of purpose. The peaceful nature of the protest, despite the challenges, demonstrates the power of nonviolent action in effecting change. The day's events garner widespread media coverage, further amplifying the Smith family's message. The peaceful protest becomes a symbol of their commitment to justice and their ability to unite a community in the fight against discrimination. The success of the protest strengthens the movement and encourages others to join the cause. The Smith family, buoyed by the support and the peaceful resolution of the day, looks ahead with renewed determination. They know that their fight is far from over, but the day's events affirm their belief in the power of collective action and the possibility of real change. The peaceful protest, though a success in many ways, inadvertently stirs up further conflict. The presence of the counter-protesters, while largely controlled, leaves a lingering sense of unease. As the days pass, the tension between the two sides escalates, creating a volatile atmosphere in the city. Opponents of the Smith family's cause become more vocal and aggressive. They organize their own demonstrations, criticizing the family's actions and accusing them of stirring up unnecessary division. The rhetoric from both sides intensifies, leading to a series of heated exchanges and confrontations. One evening, a confrontation occurs when a group of counter-protesters approaches a neighborhood meeting held by supporters of the Smiths. The meeting, intended to discuss next steps and strategies for maintaining momentum, quickly becomes chaotic as the opposing group disrupts the gathering. Words are exchanged, and shoving begins. Malik steps in to de-escalate the situation, using his calm demeanor to diffuse the confrontation. The local police arrive to separate the two groups, but the scene is a stark reminder of the deep divisions that have emerged. Clara watches the events unfold with growing concern. She worries about the potential for violence and the impact it could have on the movement. Despite her anxiety, she remains resolute in her commitment to peaceful advocacy. She continues to emphasize the importance of maintaining a nonviolent approach and seeks to address the concerns of both supporters and detractors through dialogue and outreach. The escalating conflict also affects the media coverage of the situation. News reports focus on the growing unrest and the clashes between supporters and opponents. While the media attention keeps the issue in the public eye, it also exacerbates the tensions, as sensational headlines and polarized coverage add fuel to the fire. In response, Clara and Malik intensify their efforts to reach out to the broader community. They organize town hall meetings and forums where people from different sides of the debate can come together to discuss their perspectives in a controlled and respectful environment. These events are designed to bridge gaps, promote understanding, and foster constructive dialogue. Despite these efforts, the atmosphere in the city remains charged. The division between supporters and opponents becomes more pronounced, affecting local businesses, schools, and neighborhoods. Friends and family members find themselves caught in the crossfire, struggling to navigate their relationships amidst the growing polarization. The Smith family, though weary, continues to stand firm in their commitment to justice. They understand that the fight for equality is not just about their personal experience, but about addressing systemic issues that affect many people. The conflict, while challenging, reaffirms their resolve to push for meaningful change. As the situation unfolds, the Smiths remain hopeful that their efforts will eventually lead to a more unified community. They believe that through continued advocacy, dialogue, and peaceful protest, they can help bridge the divide and move towards a future where discrimination is no longer tolerated. The courtroom is filled with a mix of anticipation and tension as the trial against the restaurant begins. The Smith family, dressed in formal attire, sits together in the public gallery, flanked by their lawyer, Mr. Robinson. The case has garnered significant media attention, and the courtroom is packed with reporters, community members, and supporters. The trial opens with Mr. Robinson presenting the Smiths' case. He starts by recounting the events of the night at the restaurant, highlighting the discrimination they faced and the impact it had on the family. The viral video plays a crucial role in the proceedings, providing visual evidence of the manager's refusal to serve the Smiths and his subsequent aggressive behavior. The restaurant's defense team, however, is determined to challenge the Smiths' claims. They argue that the refusal of service was due to a misunderstanding and not discrimination. Their strategy includes discrediting the video footage by questioning its context and suggesting that the manager's actions were justified under the circumstances. Throughout the trial, the courtroom becomes a battleground of legal arguments and emotional testimonies. Witnesses who were present at the restaurant testify about the discrimination they observed. Some describe the manager's dismissive attitude, while others recount similar experiences of being treated unfairly. Their testimonies strengthen the Smiths' case, painting a clear picture of a pattern of discriminatory behavior. The defense team cross-examines the witnesses, attempting to undermine their credibility and cast doubt on their accounts. The cross-examination is rigorous and sometimes confrontational, but Mr. Robinson remains composed, guiding the witnesses through the questioning and ensuring that their voices are heard. James takes the stand to testify about his experience and the impact it has had on his family. His testimony is heartfelt and compelling, capturing the emotional toll of the discrimination they faced. As he speaks, the courtroom is silent, with many in the audience visibly moved by his words. The trial is also a significant moment for Clara, who is deeply involved in the legal strategy and advocacy. She supports her father and helps to coordinate with the legal team. Her dedication and involvement are crucial in keeping the family focused and organized throughout the trial. As the trial progresses, the media coverage remains intense. News reports highlight the key moments of the proceedings, often focusing on the emotional testimonies and the courtroom drama. This coverage keeps the public engaged and continues to draw attention to the issue of racial discrimination. The judge instructs the jury to deliberate on the case, and the courtroom holds its breath as they await the verdict. The anticipation is palpable, and the Smith family, along with their supporters, gather outside the courthouse, hoping for a fair and just outcome. The trial represents a critical juncture in the Smiths' fight for justice. It is not just about seeking legal redress, but also about sending a message that discrimination will not be tolerated. The outcome of the trial will have far-reaching implications, not only for the Smith family, but for the broader community's understanding of racial justice and equality. The courtroom buzzes with anticipation as the verdict is about to be announced. The Smith family, their lawyer, and a crowd of supporters wait anxiously. The judge takes the bench, and the room falls silent. The tension is thick as the judge reads the verdict. In a significant moment, the judge rules in favor of the Smith family. The restaurant is ordered to pay a substantial financial settlement and to implement changes in its hiring and service practices. The decision is a landmark victory, not only for the Smiths, but also for the broader fight against racial discrimination. The celebration is short-lived as a surprising twist emerges. A former employee of the restaurant comes forward with new information. The employee reveals that the manager who denied service to the Smiths had a history of discriminatory behavior. The employee had witnessed similar incidents and had reported them, but they were never acted upon. This new revelation adds another layer of accountability to the case. The exposure of the manager's background leads to his immediate dismissal from the restaurant. The revelation is a blow to the restaurant's defense, as it confirms a pattern of discriminatory behavior that had been previously denied. The manager's dismissal is seen as a significant step toward addressing the underlying issues that led to the incident. The Smith family, while relieved and pleased with the outcome, is also reflective. The case has brought to light broader systemic issues within the restaurant industry and beyond. James, Clara, Malik, and Tasha are celebrated as heroes within their community for their courage and persistence. Their fight for justice has not only resulted in financial compensation, but also in meaningful changes that address the root causes of discrimination. The media coverage of the verdict and the manager's dismissal continues to draw attention. News outlets highlight the victory and the importance of holding individuals and institutions accountable for their actions. The story of the Smith family's struggle becomes a symbol of hope and resilience in the fight against racial injustice. The Smiths use their platform to advocate for further change. They speak at conferences, participate in interviews, and work with organizations dedicated to combating discrimination. Their experiences become a powerful tool for raising awareness and promoting dialogue about racial equality. The case leaves a lasting impact on the community. The restaurant, once a symbol of discrimination, is transformed into a reminder of the need for vigilance and reform. The changes implemented by the restaurant set a precedent for other businesses to follow, promoting more inclusive and equitable practices. The Smith family's journey comes to a close with a sense of accomplishment and hope for the future. They have faced significant challenges, but emerged stronger and more united. Their story serves as a testament to the power of perseverance and the possibility of change through collective action. As they look forward, the Smiths remain committed to their cause. They continue to advocate for justice and equality, driven by the belief that their fight has made a difference and that there is still much work to be done. The victory is a milestone in their ongoing journey, and they are determined to keep pushing for a more just and equitable society.